Oh, right. And I mean, I never heard from Emma. So Chris, was that a yes? You're gonna give it a whirl? Jeff, yes?
Yeah. Well, I will, let me give it a try. We need to see if we can get this working.
Well, it's
Yeah.
definitely recorded. You can always watch it again.
Did everybody have a chance to review the minutes that I sent out yesterday?
Mhm. I wasn't here, so. I have a misspelling of my name on the top of page 2. But I like it. You should see what my mail comes in as. It's quite interesting. I wasn't here, but I'll make a motion to approve the minutes with the modification.
Do I have a second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
I abstain.
Aye.
I wasn't here, so I'll abstain.
Motion passes. Thank you.
Oh, motion to appoint Andy to full member status tonight.
Thank you. Do I have a second?
I'll second it.
Thank you, Jeff. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Welcome.
Motion carries. Was it just Andy, or did you?
Oh,
say
sorry, Chris, sorry. I didn't even realize. I'll make another motion to appoint Chris to full-time member tonight.
Seconded.
Andy,
Thank
second.
you. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Motion carries. Thank you.
Sorry, Chris.
No worries.
Okay, any reimbursements from anybody? I don't have any, so that is done. New business, we are blessed by hearing from RCCD and hopefully, no.
You can see if I can directly connect.
Okay.
And we can't do the Teams meeting thing, or it's too late? Too late.
So, the issue is, these aren't getting the signal from our computers. So if we were, like, if my computer shows here, or her computer will show here, but they're not displaying on the TV. I'm gonna see if I can hook a HDMI cord directly to the TV.
Well, anybody who's interested can pull up chairs. Can you spin the computer around, and that way we can, you know, we'll see it at least from here.
Yeah, we can
That would be great.
consolidate ourselves too.
We'll make something work. Yeah. Just have to lift up the computer and like show it around. I think most of us can see it. Just
Bruce or anybody wants to be closer.
Thanks for trying.
Hi, Emma. Emma, we have room up here if you want to join us. You don't have to.
It's not you, Paul, it's that I don't want to sit in front of the chocolate.
Pizza and chocolate.
And pizza?
Maybe
Yes,
we have
I-
to move
Chris, do you know
Wi-Fi
what the
password.
Wi-Fi? I don't know.
We're just struggling
to it.
tonight.
Is it not? It must be
I
written.
do have Wi-Fi. I do have Wi-Fi, but
It's okay, if not, we can just. For some reason, it's not letting me open it without the Wi-Fi.
Sometimes they,
Yeah. Can't win.
your phone will let you share it. I don't know if that.
yeah, I only have it on my
Can you use a hotspot? Do you have ability to do a hotspot?
Is it the password we're after?
laptop. Do you have a? Yeah. Do you have a password?
No, but I bet Letty does. Yeah, I'm seeing if it will.
Got to work on our text. Yeah, we can. Make a motion to give Emma voting
It
rights.
does. I mean, this
Yes.
should have been.
Sure. I'll make a motion to give Emma voting rights tonight as well.
Do I have
I'll second that.
seconds? All in favor?
Aye.
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 I'm sorry.
Motion carries.
Emma.
Be our guest.
Here's the password.
Mine's okay.
Should we just talk about some of our other things maybe while we're waiting?
While we're trying.
Just go through like our C, D, E, whatever.
Sorry.
No, that's okay.
Yeah, you guys need a couple of minutes or you almost,
Yes.
It might be close.
Okay. If anyone's hungry, we do have pizza and chocolate. Please. Looks like Christian out needs to take it home.
Were you able to get onto Wi-Fi?
I think so.
Okay. Sorry guys, I don't think it's gonna work.
Like to bring it up at all.
Yeah, unfortunately. We can have a quick.
Yeah, I mean, we can give you a quick overview and we can share the presentation with you when we have actual internet. How's that? And then
Sounds
you guys can show it and you can say,
I have internet, for some reason it is stuck in my cloud in my Dropbox.
on my leave.
Or we could reschedule. I don't know.
Yeah, or would you rather us reschedule?
It's up to you all if you're able to, but
I mean, would that be?
I'm not sure.
It'd
I
be
mean,
nice to see
How
it.
long do you think it would take to fix it? Because we could have the other people go.
Why don't we try to mess with this a little bit? We'll sit
Yeah.
back down.
Yeah.
You guys do some stuff and we'll see if we can get working.
And if we can't, then we
Alright.
reschedule for next month.
Sure.
That sounds good.
Access to Wi-Fi.
Yes,
have,
so maybe it will
Yeah.
do
maybe-
its thing.
Yeah.
Okay.
okay,
Sorry, guys.
you're up. Christian?
We did try. Nothing worked.
Technology is our friend.
I'm just gonna flip this to the most pertinent page. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Christian Smith with Beals Associates, representing the applicant on the project here tonight. Brendan Walden from Gove Environmental is also with us, as well as Ted and Don Higley, the owners of Chapel Tractor and applicants. Once I get this page up. best place for me to put this, kind of right up in front of the table, but then Bruce won't be able to see.
That's fine.
I don't want to anger Bruce. Ever.
Hello? Christian, would you try to speak into this if you can, wherever you're going to stand?
Yeah, you got it. I can actually carry it around. Thanks. So what our proposal is, I think you're all familiar with this property. There's an existing house that resides completely within the 65-foot wetland buffer to this man-made pond and the surrounding wetland. This is the gravel edge where the parking display is for bobcats, tractors, things like that for sale. What the proposal is, the Higleys have purchased this parcel, knocked down the house. We're going to remove one of the existing driveways to the house and the commercial building that was on this property, and then just create a gravel expansion of a parking area down here so that that display can basically run down the frontage of this property as well. In addition to that, this man-made pond, and we do have some photographs of it in its original condition when it was first done, was actually swimmable, skatable, and it was a very viable recreation pond. I assume that's what it was put in for. It has, just due to neglect and maintenance, overgrown with all kinds of, well, there's all kinds of dead wood in there, blowdowns. There's debris and things falling actually into the pond. The whole idea, the Higleys would like to really clean this up, remove any of the invasive brush and weeds that are growing around it, take out, you know, some of the trees which are either problematic, a danger for wind throw, or already dead. And the idea would be, in this kind of restored area or restoration area, would be not just a clear cut, and whatever does get selectively taken down would be basically trimmed and ground to ground level. It would then be loamed and seeded, and we have proposed the erosion control berm mix, which is well suited for wetland buffers, and Brendan can speak more to that if you guys have any questions on that piece. But by and large, that's the proposal. So the permanent impact within the 65-foot buffer to this pond and surrounding wetland is just over 6,800 square feet. As I think most of you are aware, much of this is already covered. As I mentioned, the building is already within that 65-foot buffer as well. Obviously, there's a septic system that exists for that use, which would be abandoned, you know, as required by NHDES. And then for the clearing and the brush and tree removal, we're talking about 8,581 square feet of just, like I say, the selective clearing, restore it to its natural condition, or its original condition, it being man-made, it's not natural, but, and just kind of bring the health of the pond back, because now it's effectively a large mosquito pond, you know. So with that, I'll address any questions. I can have Brendan elaborate. You have anything you need to add to that at this point? So we'll address any questions that you folks have.
What's the depth of the pond? Is it viable for fish? Because that's control mosquitoes.
Yes.
Dawn Smith Higley, and I grew up on the property that we own now, and we abut my brother's property, Paul Smith, and the family has owned the property since the mid-1700s. When I was growing up, the pond was swimmable, and it did have fish in it, so it is deep. And before it became a pond, there were springs, and in the 1700s, when cattle and pigs were brought down early Route 125, they would spend the night there and drink from that pond. So it was at one time deep, and I don't know now since so much debris is in it.
Yeah. And I'm sure years of deciduous leaf fall within that water course as well. So.
Can you talk about, you said you're taking down a house and parking, maybe, like how much impenetrable surface you're taking out versus what you're adding?
Difficult to see completely, Rob, but essentially this entire area is compacted gravel at this time. Obviously, the house and the existing commercial building, which I cannot recall what the business they ran out of there was, but it's really immaterial. So as I mentioned, the septic system would be abandoned. The house would be taken down. You can see that is completely within the 65-foot buffer. But I would say we're probably still adding some gravel. But, you know, what's going to be parked here is not going to be used vehicles. These are all brand new vehicles, so the propensity for anything to drip out of them is extremely low. There will be no fueling on the property. This is literally, and much of the travel between here and there, new vehicles for sale will still be delivered to the store. And it will be either Ted or his staff that just drive them out for display, the ones that they want to put out front. But really, that is the bigger part of this. Obviously, to restore the pond to its original condition would be very nice as well, because then it would be a viable recreation piece, as opposed to, like I say, just a really debris-filled mosquito farm.
Are you gonna remove the septic and rehab that area, or just abandon?
I think the idea would be just to abandon it.
And I mean, one of the things with granting a variance like this is what happens after to the next owner. So will there be restrictions on the site plan that it can only be used for this sort of display, or is it going to be open to anything in the future?
Moving forward, I think if somebody purchased this property 20 years, 30 years, 40 years down the road, they could propose something, but they would certainly have to come here, go before the planning board, and if it didn't meet with zoning, have to go to the zoning board of adjustment.
I mean, just not being so familiar with the exact planning rules, so the usage of this will be strictly display.
That's it.
Okay, and so if anyone wanted to change that use in the future, they would have to come to the planning board.
And without question, because the 65-foot setback comes all the way up here. Now, if somebody was talking about building a structure, there is a very, very thin sliver of available land outside the front building setback.
So even if the Conservation Commission would be agreeable to this usage within the buffer, it's not like a permanent change to the property where the next person can automatically use the area in the buffer.
That's right.
And I could stop and someone else can ask.
Yeah, so the buffer, we're buffering 65 feet from wetland, is that?
Edge of wetland around the pond, yes.
And is there accessibility to the pond? Is there some sort of right of way, or is it just for the property owner?
No, there's nothing deeded or granted for public access or anything like that. It would literally be just for the owner of these two parcels at the current time, unless they, people came to talk to them and said, hey, can we go play hockey out there in the winter or something along those lines.
And it's the same owner or family?
It is the same owner now, yes.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah. It might be a different LLC, but it's the same people.
Yep.
And so can you talk about, or maybe the other gentleman, like, how are you replicating the function of the buffer to the wetlands with this proposal?
Okay, and Brendan, I can let you speak to that with regard to, because Brendan essentially picked out the planting options for seeding down the area after the stumps are ground down.
Because it sounded like from the application, which I don't know if we shared with everyone, that it's actually going to be an improvement to what exists now, and maybe you just talk about how that's going to work.
Brendan Walden-Gove Environmental. So essentially right now what we have in the frontage here, pretty much this entire area in the front straight across is all existing grass. So that is not going to change at all as far as the function and values. Removing, really just trimming down some of the existing brush along the edge of the pond. We're going to replant that with an erosion control, and just so that it allows the owner to get access. When we're talking about the function and values of the wetland buffer, it's supposed to enhance the function and values of this wetland feature. As it relates to the pond, we're talking about really it's just a stormwater feature. It's not really treating, it's just retaining and detaining water. So it's not going to really have an impact for that. There will still be vegetation between it and the wetland buffer there. So it's not going to be a significant difference, probably no observable change in water quality to that feature. That makes sense.
And where's the pond outflow to?
It doesn't have an outlet.
So it just fills up
Yep.
and evaporates and fills up and.
Yeah, I think the around 2 feet or something like that. It just fills up with.
So there won't be any since there's no structures, there's not any sort of direction of the water. It's just does it flow that way or towards the highway?
Right now, currently, based on topo, it flows down towards the pond.
Yeah, and I was just gonna mention, there is a small portion of that frontage here, so you've got a 164 contour that runs through here. So essentially, this basically cuts the house in half. That runs to the DOT's roadside drainage system and over to a catch basin over here, and the rest of it, yeah, just runs down toward the pond. And because this is going to be a gravel surface, there's really no need to salt it or anything of that nature, which I'm sure they did to the driveway for those many years.
Any other questions?
So I would make a motion that the Conservation Commission does not have any objection to the plan as proposed, given that it has the limited usage of a display area.
That sounds good. I'll second that motion.
All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries.
Thank you very much.
Thank you for coming in.
So we are off to the Zoning Board of Adjustment and the Conservation.
No, that's.
Planning
And
board.
the Planning Board.
Planning
So
board.
We're going all three at the town board, so.
Do you need, I don't know what your timing is, I mean, we'll have minutes eventually in a month, or do you need something sooner from us?
If there's any way a letter could possibly be drafted and just sent to Mark, I think that would be dynamite, because then, he can forward it on to the boards that he manages, and, then at least I don't have to just rely on
Okay.
people.
Are people comfortable with me writing that letter and forwarding it?
Yes.
Okay.
Thank you, Rob.
You're welcome.
Thanks very much, folks.
Thank you.
Thank you for coming in.
We're gonna go to work. Nice to see you.
You too. My bad. I don't know, but I'm glad you were past it before it fell.
Should have had it so I could go fishing there.
Oh, yeah.
I forgot Andy. was
Yeah, you
supposed
should have
to
started
go in
there.
there, fish and skating, another skating park.
And my eye on the different
Add your,
ones.
Thank you.
add your
Turn the lights down like a little bit.
I don't know if there's a little.
Yeah, I think there's a half. I think there's a half.
Ooh, that's nice.
Oh,
You might be able to see it a
I
little
like
better.
it. Yeah, it's
we're
great.
going back to this, so we could come a little closer.
So hard.
I get it as close to you guys as I can. Blair, can you guys see?
I can see.
Perfect.
I'm gonna.
Perfect.
Yeah, go ahead.
Say we go.
Come on.
I'm gonna stand here so I can see too.
Ask me next.
Okay.
Just see next.
So I'll just introduce myself. My name is Tracy Degnan. I'm with the Rockingham County Conservation District. Been a long time. And I have some familiar faces from a long time ago. I'm thinking like 2002, right? That was anyway, I'm still there. I'm the assistant district manager now and do lots of work with Ariana. And so what we thought we'd do is just talk to you about some of services that we offer and show you some of the stuff that we have done and what's going on in Brentwood as well. Can you hit next? Next.
Yeah.
Tracy, do you mind? We are recording and
Okay.
somewhere around.
I can never tell if I'm really loud.
Yeah, it's okay.
Okay, so,
It's fine for us, but it's mostly for the people who are listening.
okay. But I can't tell.
No idea.
So,
Just want to
RC
speak it.
okay, RCCD is County Conservation District. There are 10 counties in New Hampshire. Every county has a conservation district. They all do a little bit different things related to the environment and the natural resources within the county. We were enabled by an RSA in 1946, so we've been around for a long time. Rockingham in particular is one of the larger ones. We have only 4 full-time staff, but it's more than many of the other districts. Some of them are single people. Some of them work for our federal partner, which is Natural Resource Conservation Service. And if they do that, then they do some administrative services for them and are usually paid by them. Others are paid fully by the county, which we do not have that luxury. We have to ask the county for money every year, and sometimes we get it, and sometimes we get less. So we do a lot of fun grant writing, actually, for projects. So we serve the county. We do an annual report, which I brought copies of. Ariana, you want to just pass those around, maybe? So we do an annual report every year. We send it out to conservation commissions in the county, and we are just finalizing our 2025 one. So that will be sent out sometime this summer, I would imagine. Thanks. So we have 4 different services that we kind of categorize things in. So one of them is, let's talk about farmers. So back in 1946, we were enabled to help farmers with erosion controls and concerns with their farms at that time, the Dust Bowl era. And we still work with farmers. So we do things like we have a soil health equipment rental program that we work with cooperatively with Stratford County Conservation District. I think we have something like 10 or 12 different pieces of equipment, from big things like wood ash spreaders to no till. It's been a long day, I'm sorry. Yeah, that. And then we have things like a small handheld push mower. It's called a BCS tractor, and we have something like 15 different implements for it. So that would work for a much smaller farm, which we're seeing a lot of these niche farms popping up in the county, as well as folks that have greenhouses or hoo houses where they use the land instead of, having it on raised tables, raised beds. So, and we're actually doing a workshop in the Selt property in early April 7th for beginner farmers. And we're going to have that piece of equipment there to show them.
Is that at Burley Farms or one of their other properties?
It's at Burley Farms, yeah. I think it's like midday, though. It's kind of funny, but for beginning farmers, so just trying to reach out to them. So that's one thing. The other thing we've done is we've done cover cropping programs with farmers. We've done lots of different workshops using the equipment sometimes. We have a climate resilience grant program that's been running maybe 3 years now, which is running all over the state, and we get somewhere between $35,000-ish a year, and we request farmers to submit grants, which is not something they usually do. So, there's lots of technical assistance out there to help them to implement practices that will make their farms more resilient. So a lot of like water reduction, energy reduction, you name it. There are a lot of different types of projects out there. So we do that as well.
Did I see a video with Kate from Stout Oak?
You did.
for that?
You did. Yeah. That was one of the products.
Right here in town.
Yeah. And we have to do workshops as part of that program. So we'll have a workshop, I don't know about coming this spring or more likely fall. So at another farm in the county. I don't know where yet. Actually, they were thinking, so one of our projects was the Swell Oyster Company. And so we were thinking that would be a fun workshop for a different type of farming.
As long as there's tastings.
Yeah. So that's agriculture, then we do, what's the one? Yeah, oh, it's septic, okay, so municipal services. I think I don't know this stuff. So we do a lot of municipal services, and Brentwood is a town that uses our services. So we do things like septic system reviews, test pit witnessing, septic plan reviews, and then for areas that have like large developments, like Salem with big box development going in a lot, we do some engineering reviews as well. So that's a service that we offer to the town, and that's one of the ways that we are able to fund ourselves. The other thing that we do that I'll talk more about, and then I'll pass it on to Ariana, is we do ecological restoration work or habitat restoration work. We've been doing a lot of it around the seacoast. One of the sort of significant sites is Odeon Point State Park, which is in Rye. We've been working there for 16 years. That's a 330-acre park that was loaded with invasive plants. And we set out, 2009 and just kept writing grants every year to do a little bit more work. And, it takes a long time, but you got some patience and persistence and you can get it done. So we're seeing the light at the end of the tunnel for that project. And we're actually now working on things like coastal resiliency because we're seeing incredible changes with sea level rise, and it's a very obvious sight to see those changes happening. So that's been kind of fun. Trail planning, mobilization of moving things into higher elevations and that sort of thing. But we also offer that as a service to towns. So we will do habitat restoration on town forests. We will help with trails. We do a lot of invasive plant control for communities, and we actually only work for communities, right? So we work for communities and natural resource organizations. So we also do work for New Hampshire Fish and Game and TNC and U.S. Fish and Wildlife Service. We have a big project with them at the refuge in Newington. So keeps us pretty busy. Our growing season is very busy, like yours. And then in the winter, we're writing a lot of grants and doing a lot of administration. And that's pretty much what keeps us going. The annual report shows you our financial sort of status, our expenses, and our revenue. And you'll see there's it's about a 20% coverage for the county, which we have to go and ask, our county commissioners and every year. And so it's always a unknown, I would say. But so we have to keep writing grants, and that can be difficult too. We have stayed afloat so far. And we're happy to engage in services with you guys, more services if you're interested.
Yeah, and I know, we can talk about the big project we did together with you guys on Rowell Road.
Yeah.
Where RCCD came together with a big project and was able to get us grants where we conserved Norman and Carol Wilson's property, which is on both sides of the river, on both sides of the road. It was, I forget how many, half a mile or something or more, and put in the stairs for kayaks, the great little park that I forget, Brianna's Park. We put in a lot of stormwater devices there. We did invasive control for several years on the Wilson's property.
Yep.
Do you have that?
I do.
Oh, you have the.
So
Oh, I
I
don't even
was
want
trying to
to.
get
Sorry,
there,
I didn't
but-
mean to steal your.
No, it's okay. You're
But-
right.
But yes, you guys wrote all the grants for us. You did
Yeah.
maintenance for us. It was really fantastic.
So this is the Stevens parcel where we
Well, that
worked
was-
on invasive plant control. I think that's.
We
one
have
of
the
you mentioned.
Stevens who donated it.
Oh,
right
Oh, very nice. Yeah, so you're right. We back several years ago, we wrote a lot of grants. There was a lot of farmland protection money from NRCS, and I think we wrote at least 3 for your town, as well as a kelp grant for right on the Exeter River. Forget the name of the property. Nicolova was another one.
Yeah.
And so that was a great time because money was actually coming in a little bit more frequently.
Yeah.
So we did a lot of that, as well as some invasive plant control. And we have something like 10 or 11 easements. So this is just a photo of some of our habitat restoration efforts. Probably be good for us to send you this so you can see it.
Yeah, we can send it around to everyone
Yeah.
if you send us a file.
And then this talks about some of our, habitat restoration or ecological services And that's the Rowley
Yeah, so
Road
this
site
is
right
our
there.
project, right? These big trees had fallen out, taken out the whole banks. We replanted it for several years. We put in, that's the people planting it, and then
It was a
some
lot.
artificial wetlands were put in on the corner. It went all the way up Lake Road, up towards past the front of the house, the Wilson's house, going up towards the church, and the ditch lines were done, and infiltration, and it was really an awesome project that RCCD put together and administered for us and did all the grants and all the work.
And I think there was an easement too as well.
Yeah, we put an easement along the whole river on Rowell Road, and then also going up Hague Road. Thanks, sorry. Hague Road.
I don't know what the next one is. Oh, so now we're into easements. Okay. So anyway, those are the overall services that we do. And then I'm going to pass this on to easements, which Ariana Spear is the conservation stewardship manager.
Yeah, hi everyone. I don't think I know many of you, so happy to meet everyone. So I'm the conservation and stewardship manager, so I am in charge of overseeing the 104 conservation easements that RCCD holds, 11 of which are located in the town of Brentwood.
You want me to do that?
Yeah, sure, if you just want to click the mouse or go forwards, whatever easier for you. Yep. So I forgot I did this fun little breakdown of each easement. You're probably gonna just have to kind of click through it. I was just highlighting each property.
We can read them. Crosby, Rats.
That's me.
Yeah, it's over the Rats. Gove.
Those are all FRPPs, right?
Yep.
Another Gove. The Wilsons, which we were just talking about. Parks. Nikolova. Burt. Stevens on Hague Road, and the New England Dragway.
Yes, there you go. So that's totaling just about 393 acres, give or take, in Brentwood. So we actively monitor all of those. Oh, I'm sorry. And as part of our monitoring, I might have skipped a slide. Could we go back one, please? There we go. So as part of our monitoring, we kind of do it in two parts. We have our on-the-ground monitoring, which is typically done every 3 years, besides our FRPP easements, which are under the Farm and Ranch Land Protection Program through NRCS. Those have an annual monitoring requirement, so we have to be on the ground every year for those. So we're not on the ground monitoring, we're doing aerial monitoring. We're obtaining aerial imagery through this great company called Upstream Tech Lens. They're kind of a multinational conglomerate that houses a lot of aerial imagery for you to have access to with a subscription. So we take that imagery and we compare to previous years to kind of get a sense of any major changes if we can't get on the ground that year. As far as on the ground work goes, it's pretty much walking the easement boundaries, making sure there's no major changes or encroachment from budding landowners. All of that data is then compiled and a report is completed and submitted to any of our partners or affiliated organizations that have an executory interest. So I'm sure you guys receive some of our reports as an executory interest holder of some of the easements. Yep.
So just on that, how often are you using aerial monitoring regularly, like instead of on the ground, and how often do you get on the ground if you are doing that?
Yep. So we monitor. So if take out FRPP easements for instance, because those are a little unique. We monitor on the ground every 3 years, and then in between we're doing aerial imagery monitoring every year. However, if we see something on that aerial imagery, say a large portion of the land was clear cut, or there's a structure, that will then trigger an on-site monitoring. So then we'll go out the following year. That's the same with violations. If we see them on the ground when we're out there, we send either a letter and a follow-up phone call to the landowner and say, hey, look, we have these issues we need to resolve. And that will then trigger a on-the-ground monitoring the following season.
And at least currently spearheads our monitoring of 20 plus easements. Do the towns or people in Rockingham have the ability to participate in the aerial and purchase through you if we wanted for our properties? Is that anything you've done with anyone?
So actually next slide here.
Constantly
No,
skipping you ahead.
no, we're good. So we offer contracted monitoring services to communities in Rockingham County, and part of that being on-the-ground monitoring, aerial monitoring, and baseline monitoring. So baseline monitoring is kind of a more detailed approach to on-the-ground monitoring. Typically, it's done when a property is placed in conservation to get kind of a snapshot picture of the property in time to then use as a comparison as years go on. So it's a really in-depth look at the property boundaries, a lot more mapping and natural resource documentation. And then that's something, again, you can go back to and look at. So although it's most beneficial when the property is first placed in conservation, we're actually working with a lot of communities that don't have baselines for some of their parcels and are doing them now because it's just important. I mean, with the increasing development pressure, we're seeing more and more encroachments on some of our own conservation properties. So not only that monitoring helps, but also having that understanding of, okay, what's this boundary look like? What are the conditions? Where are the areas that it could use improvement? And where are the areas that we will most likely see a lot of that encroachment? And to add to that part, we purchased a GNSS receiver. So it's a high-tech GPS unit that receives sub-meter accuracy to go out and remap some of our easement boundaries. So we're not only doing that for the communities that we contract with, we're doing that for our own properties that in some cases have been without accurate boundaries for quite a while.
Could you just expand a little more? Because
Yeah.
we've done some properties where the town has purchased one and we needed to have a survey retracement, not a full survey. Is that something that this device would be specific enough to give us?
Elaborate on retrace. You mean on the
So, like, to
ground
find
or?
them- yeah, on the ground to find like corner markers, things
Okay.
that we can't find, and
Yes.
produce a map
Yeah.
for us.
Yep. So what this GPS allows us to do is whether it's collecting every single corner and then bringing it back and using ArcGIS to map that out, or getting a select few corners and then using coordinate geometry with the existing survey to then calculate those boundaries that you can't find with more accuracy. So then you can use that when you're out in the field and say, okay, even though there's not a corner rod here anymore, we're pretty confident because it gives you the confidence interval of the boundary that you draw with a certain percentage. We're pretty confident the boundary lies here.
Okay. I mean, even like when we have some encroachments, if it's along someone's backyard,
Yep.
it's hard for us, depending on the distance, to know exactly
Yep.
where the line is, and maybe is that stuff you would do on like a ad hoc basis if we said, hey, could someone come out and GPS this line for us or something?
Yeah. So ideally, we at least I like to have at least 2 or 3 corners for the whole property to reference to then draw that using the coordinate geometry, because it's kind of like fact checking your work. But in certain circumstances, that can definitely be used. I would say depending on the level of encroachment, a surveyor may still be needed or in the long run, but this could at least help you determine how bad is it, if you're really not sure where that boundary lies.
And just to add this, using that technique, using that tool, it's much better to get the whole property if you can, just so you have a really nice, accurate map of that, which would match a survey.
Yeah, I'm not a licensed I do all the GIS work, but I'm not a licensed surveyor. So in cases where the boundary needs to be defined down to the inch, down to the foot, I am not going to say with 100% certainty that this is the line,
Understood.
but it will get you close.
Yeah.
Exactly.
You generally only need that for like survey of that magnitude for litigation purposes, I would think.
Well, we have encroachments where, I know when I've looked at them, we feel pretty confident where the line is, but you're using.
Right, but if you had that, it would give you, real confidence.
No,
right?
that's what I'm saying. Like that
Yeah.
might be helpful
Yeah.
for us instead of having our Onyx or Compass. But we have surveys. We just
Right.
sometimes don't know exactly where we are. Is it 10
Yeah.
feet this way or?
Yeah, because it's too long, right?
Yeah.
Do you have like a standard cost for the, when you're talking about the contracting for
Yep.
doing the?
It's easement right now. It's really been easement by easement, case by case, because every property we're finding is so unique with their own set of challenges. So it could depend on, are we talking about a 90% wetland property where we're hummock hopping or wading through dense brush, that takes a little bit longer. That's a little bit harder. How old is the survey? When was the last time somebody was out there and marked the boundaries? So yeah, unfortunately there's a lot of factors, but I mean, if you're ever interested in just getting, a ballpark estimate on a certain easement or property, we're happy to do that. Or you can just, call and talk to me about it.
That's traditionally what we do with towns is give us a plan or whatever they have for the existing parcel, and then we try to create an estimate for doing monitoring or a baseline.
That one with all the brambles and poison ivy.
Yeah, that you don't want to do. We actually have an easement in town here that we are having a hard time, that we are the holder of Nicolova, I think, right? Isn't there one boundary line that we can't define? And so we're bringing a surveyor in.
Yeah, it's time.
So
Well, that's the odd-shaped one around the
Yes.
development that goes down to
Those
the
are rough
river.
roads. Very hard.
Yeah, those common land subdivisions are a challenge for sure. Yeah.
Well, that abuts Jane Storm's property, right? I think it's been sold. Anyways.
Yeah. This last slide was, we also do contracted monitoring with our, on behalf of our federal partner, NRCS. So just to show you guys some of the NRCS conserved properties in the town of Brentwood, that's what's in pink there. And then
Just for everyone's sake and people listening, NRCS is?
Excuse me, the Natural Resources Conservation Service.
Which is under the?
USDA.
Yes.
Right.
Yes. Yeah. So just
And
to kind of
we use that
outline.
for a lot of grants also for
Right.
the wetlands and farmland protection, which has funded a lot of our easements.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yep. So yeah, just to kind of show you, kind of end on, these are all the conserved properties that, we have been kind of actively monitoring in the town of Brentwood. Yeah, and I think that about.
And you do this all by yourself?
No. Although more than I definitely enjoy it. But we have a conservation technician who works with us and actually has completed a lot of the monitoring, especially this past season when I've been a little bit more stuck in the office. But no, we have a small but mighty team, and we work all very closely together, and it works out well.
We have a lot of volunteers that help us with our easement monitoring. Do you offer any free training sessions or anything, or have you participated in something like that for people that would like to get more educated?
It's funny. That's actually a great question. And we had another community reach out to us recently. We actually were hoping to do something with them in the spring when we train our own summer technician. So if that's something that you guys would be interested in, typically we hire right around like Memorial Day. That's when we kind of get going. So that's typically when we do our own like in-house training. Not really like open to everyone, but happy to, if you guys have a summer intern that wants to, join and learn a little bit more of how to use the survey compass and how to read a survey plan. Yeah, we probably will be doing it on the Gove. We usually do our monitoring training on the Gove parcel.
Right here in town.
Yeah. So.
Well, that sounds like it's good for one or two spots on that training session then.
Yeah, it's not a field day.
But yeah, I think that was it, unless you guys had any other questions.
When properties transfer ownership, Cosby is a great example. Because they just, how do you find out about it? I mean, we found out because, somebody who was bidding on the trying to bid on the property, wanted to ask some questions, and they thought the easement holder would be able to answer the questions. We can give you a little bit of guidance, but the actual holder of the easement would be the ones to ask.
If the realtor is knowledgeable about conservation easements and does their due diligence, they'll see in the deed that there's a requirement to notify the easement holder. I would say that generally doesn't unfortunately happen. We've been really lucky within the past month. We've been 3 landowners actually reached out to us to say that they're transferring the property themselves. So I was really excited. I actually met with the Crosby's new landowners today, as well as another one of our parcels. But unfortunately, we find out either by calling the old landowner and them saying, "Hey, we don't own this anymore," or we look every year. We, as a part of our monitoring, we look at the town tax records. Yeah.
Sometimes those are updated yearly, and sometimes they're not. So. Do you have any questions for us, or?
Is there anything like any easements or anything that's been sticking out as like a problem that's occurring that we should be on the lookout for ourselves and for our easements?
You mean easements that are in Brentwood or just in general?
Yeah, like in general, like is there some sort of infraction that is becoming more common? I know with properties turning over to the second and third owners, I think that's where we see a little bit more.
Yeah. I would say on majority of our own easements, it's often not the new landowners, but the abutting parcels that we have encroachment issues with on a regular basis. As far as the new landowners go, I haven't had anybody within the last three years that have, not like called me at first and said, "Hey, can we do this?" Generally the landowners are really, that we've worked with at least, are really amenable, and they really want to do the right thing. They're really excited once, they know their land is in conservation and they want to protect it and do what's right. So I think we've been really fortunate. But yeah, some of the abutters, not so much. Yeah, so those, just keep those boundaries marked.
Yeah.
Walk the boundaries frequently. The worst thing in the world is when you lose your iron rod or your corner bound, because you know how much a surveyor costs to get back out there and get it replaced. So, yeah. Well, thank you guys.
Thank you for
Thank
having us.
you.
We'll make sure to send the PowerPoint so you can put it on your website or whatever you do.
Cool. Well, thank you, Tracy.
Of course.
Thank you, Ariana.
Think of us, Just,
Yeah, and you think of us if there's a good grant or you need a partner to do something for an event or something, we're happy to entertain the idea as well.
okay.
Yeah, so,
Yeah.
actually, that's a kind of other question. Do you guys actually, are you accepting easements anymore?
We aren't. We
you're-
aren't.
You're not?
So,
So that's where.
yeah, so we have about, 104 easements, 5,000 acres in the county. And we started taking them in the early 80s. And when we started taking them, I wasn't there then, but when we started taking them, we were not asking for stewardship fees. And a lot of the grants that we wrote, even the FRPP ones, we didn't have any stewardship fees. And so now we have this legal requirement to monitor, every year or every 3 years, whatever it is, our easements, and we don't have funding. So that makes it really difficult for us to keep going on that, and we have to do it. But we decided, I don't know, maybe 10 years ago that we weren't going to take them anymore. So, Selt is right down the street, and they're happy to take more easements, but, we
So you're working for free?
So
don't want to be.
No, I
Yeah.
mean, I'm wondering if there's a way to kind of offset those stewardship costs
Yeah.
by accepting, new easements and starting a stewardship fund that has a little bit more buffer.
Maybe. It's something that we have to look at, and we haven't taken a deep dive yet.
Yeah, just in terms of.
Yes, it is.
Which again, I mean, just to bring it around, I mean, the town has never put any sort of money away for our easement monitoring of our 20 plus, and it's something we've talked about, and we have a draft easement stewardship fund document, and I think if we were to take on town easements in the future, we would want to consider the same thing, because what we're hearing, it's a perpetual liability that has a cost, and it can be complicated if you need to resurvey or you have a butter that's doing
A
something.
legal issue, right?
Yeah.
Legal issues
Or
are the
legal
really
issue,
expensive
right.
ones.
So.
Yeah.
The manpower to get out there and monitor.
Yeah, exactly. Right now, we're doing it volunteer, but, when I step down, it might not continue.
But And that's honestly why we offer it as a service, because the more services we provide to
Yeah.
communities, the more we can,
Yeah.
you know.
Motion to extend Lisa's term 5 years.
All right, well, thank you for your
Thank you,
time.
guys.
Thank you, Tracy.
Have a
Appreciate
great
it.
night.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
I'm just putting it out in the future.
Planted seeds. We don't like it. If there's snow out there, your seed's dead.
Why did you bring that up?
Turn on the light again, maybe.
Night, thank you.
Thanks, guys.
Don't say the word.
All right. 7:30. Lisa's got a
7:30.
long agenda still.
These are quick.
Tall.
Killing me.
Okay.
Killing me.
We can make it.
Just the next three are quick announcements. Rockingham County Conservation Commission Roundtable Kickoff, March 26th. So it's this month, 5:30 to 7 at the Brentwood Rec or Community Center. I do believe that Sarah Callahan does want you to sign up if you are interested in going. So if you don't know where that email is that she sent out or need an email, let me know and I can forward that to you.
Just on that front, I'm going to be chairing the first meeting, hopefully transferring that to someone else at some point, maybe. But we did offer dinner because of the time. Are people okay using our activities fund? I forgot what the line is actually called. Town events to buy pizzas or something. I don't know how. I don't have a count yet.
Would it be a meat lover's pizza as opposed to just?
Yeah, we'll have some of that and some vegetables, maybe. Chocolate. So are people okay with that?
Yes.
Okay. I mean, here on in, the first one we decided would be good to have in person so we can meet people. But the way this is as she had presented to us, the Seacoast is currently doing it, and they do it virtually. So going forward, it would be virtual. They get much more attendance. But we thought for the first one, we would try and get at least some people to show up just to, put faces, people together and whatnot. So yeah, so hopefully if you're around, come. We don't have an exact agenda, although now I'm looking at the date, we probably should. I think the first one was really introductions and talking about ideas people have for land conservation and outreach and things like that. And again, just trying to share ideas of what's been successful between the towns. Thank you.
Thank you, Rod. Second announcement is New Hampshire Annual Land Conservation Conference on Friday, April 10th. Have you gotten anything on that?
I'll look.
Okay.
Maybe in the conservation email. I'll take a look.
Right. Yeah, just let me know if anybody's interested. I can.
Yeah.
I'll just forward it to everybody.
I'll take a look and send it.
Yep. Last one is the Brentwood Gathering. And I know I announced it last month that it would be at the Brentwood Rec, but it has a change of venue. It will be at the barn at Crawley Falls. So please make a note of that. I will be attending it. I think you mentioned, Rob, that you would also.
Portion of it.
Yeah,
We could
and
discuss.
so one of the things that we will probably try to do is anybody who comes up to our table gets have a sign-up sheet if they're interested in volunteering in any way or monitoring. We're going to have some pamphlets that Robin Brighton will pick up from UNH. It kind of goes over monitoring. See if we get any interest there.
Yeah, we'll have.
Will you bring the map?
Yep, and some brochures, landowner brochures, and some of UNH cooperative extension. But we'll have a little table we had.
And some flyers for the Earth Day celebration.
Will you have flyers? Yeah.
Yeah.
Definitely.
And some actually that's the week
Wait,
before,
what?
so you can
So
hand out
we can
bags and
hand out
gloves and
bags too.
yeah.
Sure.
be advertising for it.
Oh, yeah, perfect.
I'll get that to you.
Good mention.
I'll
Did
be
you
there
need
as
to get
well.
it to me?
Okay, good.
Because you won't be there?
Is Debbie's
I
gonna
won't be there,
Okay.
but I can bring it to the meeting the week before. Is it the week before that we're
Yep.
meeting, the 8th?
Yep.
Debbie Briscoe's gonna be there too at the gathering for the Trails Committee, so.
Yep. Great. Okay, any other new business?
Shoot, I have some other, yeah, so, at the May meeting, the owner of the Mill Road Dam will be coming in to make a presentation to us. They presented at the select board, they followed up with us. It's my understanding that the owner is a lawyer and the New Hampshire DES folks will be there. So I need to get it out to the select board. It's gonna be at our May meeting.
DES is gonna be there as well?
That's what his email said.
Huh.
Can they say who from DS?
No. I mean, we can find out, I think, as we get closer. I think it's the dam guy.
Yeah, Bureau.
Dam guy.
Dan Ventures?
No.
Or, no, from DES, yeah.
That was, I think, the request at the select board that either Bruce or someone was suggesting, like, what's the process? So, again, I don't think there's any decisions. You know, their goal is to somehow.
I think they're trying to advocate that
Mhm.
the town, after removal of the dam, accept the water rights and the parcel.
Mhm.
Or it could be maybe and/or the water rights and the parcel.
Yeah, I mean, when I watched the select board meeting, it sounded like it was being put over here to see if we were interested in that land. And, I mean, I think it's preliminary to tell, but this would be a good first step.
Yeah, I felt it was important for this commission to weigh in and get involved. I know there was definitely caution amongst
All of us.
people in the audience and people sitting on the board, much to the chagrin of the principal of the company that owns. And you know, I feel badly for him because he was put in a situation, I think, by his son, who sort of just abandoned ship, if you will, or abandoned dam. And, you know, now he's looking to try and, you know, restore it and take care of it. But, you know, I think there are concerns.
Yeah, well, I mean, let's see. I mean, there may not be any concerns, but we'll find out. It may be a beautiful little strip to have a little park or something along the river to be able to drop it and go fishing or have a
It could
picnic
be
or.
part of the Exeter Recreation and Parks,
Yeah,
you know, which is the new.
So yeah, I mean, I think,
Yeah,
I mean,
right.
we have concerns, but we have an open mind, and I think Bruce's points, or if you
Yeah, I
talk
think
for yourself.
in speaking, the landowner called, or the dam owner called me subsequent to that meeting. And in questioning him, you know, they made quite a point about the $675,000 grant.
Yeah.
But when I questioned him, it appears that money, that $675,000, is for the planning for the removal. So I said to him, it's really doesn't really make much sense to meet with him unless the Dam Bureau was there to explain the rest of the process, because it could be well over $1 million to remove the dam.
Yeah.
This is just the engineering, because there's so many studies, there's scour studies, historical studies, all kinds of studies that need to be done. So after, and I probably spoke more than I should at that select board meeting, but
Don't make the same mistake here.
after
You think, Bruce?
after seeing what Exeter went through when Exeter took a free donation and ended up costing them a couple $1 million.
Yeah. Fortunately, we got that wisdom in our back pocket, so I don't think we'll make the same mistake. But anyways, they're coming in. We gave them, it was a request from the select board, and we're happy to entertain the presentation, not entertain them.
But it will be entertaining.
Okay, Okay, so that, I'll give an update on Bruce's land donation. We've completed the survey and the environmental work, and those all went very positively. We're gonna install, the surveyor is gonna install some more posts once the snow melts. And then Paul and I are gonna work on drafting a draft of the deed. Bruce has given us some of his bullet points for what he would like in that, and
We'll at least take a
Take a
shot
crack
at it
at
and
it.
then probably have town
yeah,
council.
exactly.
You know,
Yep.
if it gets beyond our scope of
Yep.
expertise.
Totally, which is already beyond mine. The other thing, Bruce is here, he's got a lot of things going on. He is retired now, which is, maybe he should go back to work.
I just want to say on the,
But-
on the,
Oh.
on the land donation, I would really appreciate if you would include Jim Hajar in that conversation of
Yes.
the deed
Yes.
formulation. Because I did, I mean, I don't want to go back on my word. I did say
Oh, no, we got
initially
the
that
cemetery.
the cemetery was
Yeah.
the subject at hand at the time, and, but it could be maybe a dual use also.
Well, I don't think it's going through this, so I was just giving you an update. I mean, I think we're clear, we didn't spend money from the Conservation Commission, it's not under open space, it's for a cemetery first, and, the other thing that Bruce has brought, up in the past, which, may be a good thing for us to get started, is the Green Snow Pro program. Bruce had the folks in from UNH that
Yes,
run
I
it.
think, yeah,
And so maybe if you want to take your 2 minutes to,
Sure.
Doug,
Yeah, so actually back a year ago, October, Doug Finnan, a planning board member, and myself attended, along with the Brentwood Highway Department, attended the Green Snow Pro certification program that was put on in conjunction with UNH and the New Hampshire DOT. It was a full day's course, with an exam at the end or a test at the end, and you got a certificate to prove that you could understand how to apply salt products and what products to apply and what products not to apply. And so we went through that program. The Brentwood Highway Department, to be honest, didn't seem to be too inclined to perhaps adopt, and that's fine. I'll say it like it is. But I think we all understand that there's going to be some major changes to DPW in the next couple of years, and so I'm actually going to meet with Jim Michaud, who seems to be the select board rep or liaison to the DPW, and I'm going to forward all of that information to him. So
yep, and I think the two important things are, it could save us money and limit the liability to the town if we apply it right.
Correct.
And we had a conversation, we said maybe we could get it rolling here so that it gets started for next season. Do you think you have a different connection?
No,
with
I think
Jim?
that's good. I think that it's going to be a combination. Be the selectmen will really set the policy.
Yeah.
So I wasn't trying to exclude the rest of the selectmen, but Jim did agree to meet with me. We haven't met
So
yet.
is there anything you would like from this group in terms of having them in, or are you gonna do that directly through Jim and the select?
Well,
board,
I
which
would
is
just,
fine,
I would just, meet with Jim, and then he would alert the other select board members as to what the options were.
Good.
It really would be them that would be
Good.
important to
Good, so we
include.
don't need to do anything with that. The last thing, if I could have another minute. So at the last meeting, we did talk about the new solid waste transfer station that's going into Epping. The town was aware of it at some point. The planning board has discussed it. There was a lot of letters written by the other towns around us about seeing if New Hampshire DES would postpone at least the permit to allow more information to come out before they issued a permit. Understanding that it has to go before the Epping Planning Board, but once the permit is issued, it sounds from reading these town letters, the other towns' letters like Newmarket and Durham and Newfields and whatnot, just to ask for more time and have DES postpone an approval or not until more things could be worked out. I don't think it's a bad idea. I don't think we really spent much time that I know of actually going through the details, either at the planning board or the select board, and we were more relying on, hey, let the process work, and when it comes down to us, whether it's through a regional impact or not, but again, once it's approved, then you're just looking at the plan. I think many of these towns are saying that it's going to have major impacts and that DES maybe should not consider not giving them a permit. And I'm wondering, or would propose that the deadline for comments is already passed, but the people that have been reaching out to us on the Conservation Commission had said, hey, it would still help. Part of this is in Brentwood. It's going to have a major impact on Brentwood because we're the direct abutter. These other people are downstream, but they're concerned that pollution of the Piscassic River, whether it's PFAS or other things. I did reach out to Councilor Stevens on the Executive Council. She never answered my email, and I was away and didn't have time. But what I've heard through these people, and I can't confirm it, is that she has some concerns because a lot of it would be a transfer station, not a recycling, and most of this would be out-of-state garbage coming in here. So it wouldn't necessarily even directly help the town, while the degradation of the highways, which are state highways, would be a cost to us. So I'm just wondering, and would be willing to draft a simple letter, and we have copies from other people. I think I've submitted some of that around, or I could again that the other town shared with us, to just write something simple saying, hey, we would appreciate more time to look into this at this point. You know, would you consider just delaying the permit to give everyone more time? So some of the land trusts have written in, the Coastal Conservation Association. I mean, it's basically for degrading the entire watershed. So I don't have an opinion either way, but I think if we should, as a town directly here, we should be spending more time on it even before it gets to the approved permit.
Was that the state process? Is that like a certificate of need for the project? It doesn't seem like they would give a final approval until after the Epping Planning Board had researched the facts and given the information. Our planning board was just concerned that it appeared that people were writing with concerns, you know, that where we didn't have the facts yet. The facts will come out through the Epping Planning Board planning process, but they have not yet received their formal application, as I understand it. So no meetings have yet been scheduled. So we just thought as a board, we ought to maybe get the facts first and review those facts and then make a decision based on the facts rather than just say it's a big project. You know, in terms of
most people are saying the same thing, but trying to get the facts a little bit more before any permits are issued.
Yeah, it just seemed like the planning board process there for a site plan review is that process where you would attain the facts.
But it can't hurt the town to have more facts before any permits are issued.
Right.
A permit is a permit. They're not even sure an alteration of terrain permit would be required because they're doing an expansion versus a new building, which also has completely different implications for all the regulations. And it is going to be a big impact. I know it's not our roads, but there could be a lot of traffic. It's in a good location, which we
the good part about it's all
but I don't see
state
any
roads.
downside for the town asking for more facts before anything
Right.
happens.
I just know
That's what
where,
you're asking for.
I'm trying to figure out where the facts come from until you have the process where you have the engineering
Well,
studies.
The DES can ask for anything they want before a permit, and so these towns are asking for more studies on the impacts for environment and pollution and things like that before anything is done. So that's exactly what you're saying, asking for more facts. That seems like you should.
Yeah, it just seemed like the planning process is where those facts are generated. So that's why it would be really interesting to find out from the state what this permit that we're speaking about really is. Is it a certificate of need, or is it?
Do you see any harm in asking for more time for the town to get more facts?
No, but no, I think it's a great idea, but where are you going to get the facts until you start the hearing process where you'll be presented those facts?
None of us here are going to answer that question. All we could do is ask for more time and figure it out. And the state could say no.
Okay, sure.
It's the planning process. I mean, so I don't know if people have an objection to drafting a simple letter that the Conservation Commission, many of the other Conservation Commissions have sent in their own letters, and then they were subsequently backed by the select board of these different towns that use the Piscassic as drinking water, and it's in their watersheds, and they're going to be, just like Brentwood, we're going to be downstream of anything that happens on that site. So I would, again, be willing to draft a letter from the Conservation Commission very simply saying, you know, we agree with some of the other towns, or, you know, we would appreciate more facts and information also ahead of time, and would ask that presentations could be made to us prior to permits being issued or something like that.
That property abuts a previous Superfund site, which
chief environmental. So,
Okay.
I mean, that was a big one, where they were dumping all kinds of stuff illegally. And, that's permanently disgusting. So, yes, that property abuts that Superfund site. Just like the barrel factory in Kingston and some others around here.
Was there any preliminary information available?
There was like 100-odd page permit submitted to DES, which other towns with more technical resources did review and say studies were missing, things were not done correctly, or that additional things should have been done that DES should require. So, and there's nothing saying that DES, I think they have to issue the permit in the next few weeks, like early April-ish or something.
So what kind of permit?
There will be more traffic from trucks. That's about it, really. The land.
Yeah, I mean, I think Glenn Greenwood had said, likely to be a project of regional impact, and then it will involve all of the towns in terms of, providing input and recommendations for the planning process.
Yeah, I mean, again, many of these bigger towns than us, like Durham and others with more resources, are objecting at this point. So it just leads me to believe that once that permit is issued, and again, reading some of these things, that there's less opportunity for the correction. So let me just see. Tried to share some permit application for solid waste transfer facility in Epic. The above reference for a standard permit for a solid waste collection, storage, and transfer facility. According to the application, the facility would process up to 750 tons per day of municipal solid waste delivered by truck. Consists of approximately 300, the application consists of 360 pages plus supplements, many of which provide limited substantive analysis. Okay, so this is a letter from the Town of Newfield's Conservation Commission, so take that for what it is. Several areas of concern remain insufficiently addressed, and the overall scope and justification of the proposal appear poorly aligned with the objectives of the New Hampshire Solid Waste Management Plan. They go into plenty of details about certain communities not being notified, public benefit determination not being clear, environmental and health concerns, Piscassic River water quality and hydrology not being addressed, drinking water protection, air quality and odor control, which could be a major problem. And again, maybe many of these things might be done through the planning process, and I can share this. Lamprey River Advisory Committee, the Town of Exeter, which has plenty of resources, they lies within the same interconnected watershed and would reasonably bear environmental and infrastructure consequences associated with this proposal. Town is concerned about the regional impacts of substantial increased truck traffic, road wear safety, noise, air quality. Exeter finds the application does not clearly demonstrate how this would provide a measurable public benefit. Town of Exeter believes that a heightened level of scrutiny is both appropriate and necessary. Accordingly, the Exeter Select Board respectfully requests that New Hampshire DES refrain from approving this permit at this time pending additional analysis, clear demonstration of public benefit, and further engagement with affected communities. Depending on the outcome of that review, Exeter may oppose approval of the permit altogether. So that's basically that last sentence. That last paragraph is basically what I would suggest. It's given its location within a sensitive watershed, the Town of Brentwood or the Brentwood Conservation Commitment believes it's, I would almost copy this. And we just request that you refrain from approving this permit at the time, pending additional analysis, et cetera. So we're not objecting. All we're doing would be,
No. Has the app, do we know, or do you know if like the application has, like engineering and other support with it, or is it just a basic application, or you don't know?
I don't think there's the plan sets like Bruce is
Right.
describing that actually has engineering. I think I have
just
the
that-
application in an email. I did not read.
Yeah,
Yeah.
okay.
The
fair
planning
enough.
board office has had communication with Epping, and they're acknowledging that they feel that it'll probably go by vote to be described or declared a project of regional impact. But their site review plan process is state mandated, like Brentwood falls under. So first you get the application, and you accept the application, and at that time, that's what triggers your allowance to make that declaration
I
of
think where we're
regional
not
impact.
communicating with each other is once the permit is issued, there's already a lot of things approved. Then it's just a matter of
Yeah.
doing it on that site, but they're already giving permission, and people are saying, before you give permission, we want to know more. That's implementation. They don't, if you don't want it at all, it can't go to implementation.
You would think, though, that they wouldn't give a permit until it goes through the process to do the engineering studies to figure out, you know,
No,
the
they're
apparently
asking for the
some
permit
concern.
ahead of time.
Apparently,
Which
some
is-
concern.
But when the town of Epping
I
has,
don't think we need to really argue about it. I mean,
Yeah.
this can only help the town of Brentwood.
could you
so-
request in your letter what factual information the state had in conjunction with that permit application?
I would just keep it concise. I mean, keep it real brief and
Yeah,
just say.
I mean, that's what I was saying. I mean, if the select board doesn't want to do it, I mean, if this group is, I think just that the town of Brentwood in any fashion as the real abutter of this project that literally has property in town, is some of it actually in town? I don't know.
I would just merely say that.
The entrance of the driveway is part of Brentwood.
I mean, I would like to keep it very
So-
general. We don't have, just saying,
Yeah.
hey, we would love to have more
Yeah.
information.
I would just say we defer pending, the project being reviewed as part of a regional, impact, process and going through that, leave it as simple as that, really.
And Rockingham Planning Commission will make a statement or present a study as a result of being declared regional impact.
I mean, I think the key is basically that we would request a pause and not until more of these studies and information can be shared with us and we have time to review ahead of any thoughts. I mean, I don't want to stick on this. I have other things to do to talk about tonight too. So,
There are more things?
what's that?
There are more things?
Yeah, we need to go into non-public.
I would support the letter. I think it's good for us to at least acknowledge that we want more information as well. And just by making that acknowledgement, maybe we'll be included on future decisions as well. So I support that.
Yeah, along with the other towns that abut us, I think it makes sense.
So,
Did you make a motion?
I make a motion, yes, to support Rob's proposal for writing a letter.
Okay, do I have a second?
I'll second it.
Okay, all in favor?
Aye.
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 maybe I could run it by, would anyone like
I mean,
to take another look at it before, or, I mean, I'm happy to have it from the Conservation Commission or the Select Board if, I think it'd be too complicated for the Select Board at this point.
Yeah, I think so too. I mean, at least in terms of the time frame that I think we're talking about.
I think it could be very straightforward. I think we can keep the language very vague.
Can I share it with you
Yes.
before I send it?
I'll
Yeah.
take a look.
I'm happy to take a look at it if you wanted to send it to both of us.
Okay, thank you. Thank you, guys.
Thank you.
That wrap up
That's all I have.
all new
Until-
stuff? Okay, all right. So in terms of updates, Emma, do you have any updates regarding?
Sure. I mean, the Earth Day event is a go. Everything is coordinated. Did I send you the bill from the Center for Wildlife? I think I did.
I actually submitted it to,
Thank you.
Yes.
Thank you. So we'll need a check on the day of the event, which is April 25th. So
if I know what they did, they probably have mailed it directly to,
Perfect.
because I submitted it to.
Great, thank you. So the space is
I can
reserved.
follow up on that.
Okay. Center for Wildlife is coming. I'm getting bags from Litter Free New Hampshire. I'll buy some gloves. And basically we'll have bags and gloves available at the town office and at the library for 10 days prior to the event so that people can come at their leisure and take bags and gloves and do their cleanup when they can. And then either leave their bags in their roadside trash or they can bring it to the rec center. And Wayne will have an additional dumpster there to collect bags for the people who choose to bring their trash. We're doing a couple little things like bring the weirdest piece of trash you find, and we're making a treasure hunter award to give out at that April 25th event.
How is that being communicated?
So
I
we
saw a nice
have,
little article in the newsletter, but I didn't get to
yes, so
that.
it was in the March newsletter. That was, I know there are several little things happening. I have a Facebook event made. I'm making a full page flyer to post in the different buildings, and then making a quarter page flyer that can be handed out easily at the Brentwood gathering, and I'll have them at the library and with the bags and gloves.
About anything going to Swayze School?
That's a great idea. Yes. And yeah, I'll check in with them about timing for that. And then reaching out to scout troops who want to participate. Does anybody have any other ideas of ways we could be communicating?
Somehow.
The what?
Do the rec department somehow.
That's a good idea. Okay. Any other thoughts?
And where is it? And where is the?
So the event is at the pavilion at the rec center. And Center for Wildlife will do their presentation at 2:00. It's on Scavengers, Nature's Cleanup Crew, and they're bringing live animal ambassadors, and they're going to also talk about, like, what do you do if you find an animal that's been injured on the road, because, you know, that comes up a lot for people.
This might be a dumb question. Can we bring any of this to town meeting on Saturday? Just outside? Flyers or anything like that?
I don't know, can we?
You'd have to ask Melissa Hanlon,
Okay.
the moderator.
You can do that.
I would ask Melissa.
Okay.
It's her meeting.
Okay.
Not during, it doesn't have to be during, but just outside. Just outside.
Yeah, a little card table or something.
Yeah, something like that, just to be.
I wonder, does anyone know which Girl Scout troop is selling cookies that day? Maybe they want to have a poster at their table. Do you know?
I don't know.
Okay, I'll try to find out
Hold
which.
on. Let me see.
I would ask Melissa about all that because otherwise
Yeah.
we could start a whole thing of it.
Yeah, we don't want to start a thing.
That's true.
Okay. I think that's it for that event. Does anybody, do you want me to, I'll put it in the newsletter for April?
Mhm.
Right? It's March right now, right? Yep.
Yep.
Sorry.
Oh, wow.
Just noticing the clock. Time is really flying tonight.
One,
Yeah.
Sorry.
one more for you.
Yeah.
You've been great with the Facebook posts. I know this will be on there.
Yeah.
Can we spread across any of the other social media platforms? What are your thoughts on that?
We can, I mean, we can. We don't have a presence on
I know,
any other
we don't
platforms.
at all.
I don't really know that we,
And I think we'd have to ask what the
Need
town
to.
policy is and
Yes,
stuff.
that's another.
Some of the other platforms, I don't
Okay,
really know.
I can ask the, I'll start by asking the town and then maybe
Okay.
drag you into that if
Okay.
you're okay with that.
Yeah.
Okay.
I would do at least in the next, give them a week or 2 to recover.
I'm gonna call him tomorrow.
but if you all are on Facebook and want to go and RSVP to that event, the more people that, you know, engage with it, the more it will get seen, so.
That's great.
And what platforms are you meaning? Like just social media or?
Any of that? Let's see.
Instagram.
Yeah,
Instagram.
mainly Instagram. I think it would be good to have, and it would just, you just push one button. It should post across.
Yeah.
But you might get a different crowd by posting on other platforms, not just Facebook. So Instagram. What else is right now? I don't know.
I'm not doing any other. Yeah, I'm not doing any of those, so somebody else would have to take that. But I could easily connect Instagram to the.
Okay, I mean, that would be a good start, but I'll start by
You're
asking.
gonna let me know.
Yeah.
What's the one with like the 7-second really quick one?
TikTok.
TikTok.
We're not doing
Yeah.
that either.
I heard a volunteer to
probably
start
do it for
creating
ya.
TikToks. Yeah.
My kids can't, but everybody else's kids maybe.
That's awesome, Emma. Good job. That's really great.
Right. Yeah,
Very
it
exciting.
will be good, I think. Keep getting the word out.
Okay. Awesome. Anything on the trail?
Trail passport is moving forward. We're still working on it.
Okay.
Yeah.
Thanks. Any other announcements? Does everybody have their
Yeah. All right, I'll try to be quick with
specific?
the IT stuff. So I know I sent an email to everyone's personal emails trying to draw the line. We're going after this meeting. Gonna try to just communicate with the new emails that everyone has. I know I've heard from some of you, but not from everybody. I'm not gonna call anybody out yet, but if you have any issues trying to access, give me a call. We can walk through it. Getting the access should be pretty straightforward. And then in there, you'll have your SOP for uploading documents. So we won't set a deadline yet for everyone getting their stuff onto OneDrive, but we do want to start working towards that. I know Michelle has been starting to upload a bunch of documents, and if I don't, have you been able to access yet? Not. I'm sorry for calling you out. I told you I wouldn't do it.
Call everyone out.
Yeah, not yet. I just sent the email to
Hey, I
everyone.
got my
Yeah.
email
Yeah.
going.
Is it
so-
working? Okay.
Yeah, that's not a problem.
Oh.
Okay. Good. That is a good. That's a good.
I
As
think
long
just
as everybody got
emails.
Yeah.
their meeting announcement and stuff in their email.
Yeah, yeah. So the idea is we're only going to use the Brentwood, New Hampshire emails going forward. We're going to get off using any of our personal emails for anything. So I know for me, I have my group set up with everyone's. I'm trying to update everything, and I forget. I email Lise.
Okay.
And, it's totally simple.
Yeah.
I got a favorite on my bookmarks now, and it just takes you right in. And
It's really straightforward.
yeah. So if everyone, if we could all just try not using regular emails. Just for our- for our- for our-
We're not using government phones, we're using our personal iPhones, which is a no-no on the .gov.
If you're.
I finally did get it,
Yeah.
but
Oh,
if
I see what
you
you're
get a hold of these people and ask for help, they'll ask you, why the hell are you using a personal phone for a .gov email?
I mean, I guess since I use mine on my computer, I haven't put it actually on
Yeah.
my phone. But
No,
I
If
understand
we're-
I got mine on my phone now.
Yeah, if we're talking through it, I'll just talk through the using your browser part. Are they giving you? I mean, did you try to call
Could you do
Block
this
5?
maybe
Or,
offline?
yeah, we can.
Just because we're getting later.
Yeah,
and I got
that's-
a couple more things.
Sounds good. Did anyone have any questions? Other questions? Okay. All right.
Thanks, Jeff. That's awesome to get us this far and to have the shared document space. And I know Julie was looking at us as a sample, and I need to follow up with her on how do we store non-public. And you're
Yeah,
going to help
I'll-
me with that.
Yeah,
How do we store our non-public documents?
I'll follow up on that.
There's a secure way or something.
Yep.
File cabinet.
Yeah.
Like a lock file. Yeah. I
Yes.
mean, we're trying to obviously get away from paper. And I mean, like even tonight we had trouble getting our non-public stuff because no one wanted to email to each other. So.
Okay, guest speakers, do we have anything lined up for next month? Or,
Not for April.
Yeah,
I'll be looking for
okay.
May.
Well, we've been, so just to take it away, we've been trying every other month, and for May,
Yep.
we already have the dam presentation. So I think we should count that
Yep, that's,
and then line
I
something
agree.
up for later.
Yep.
Yep.
If that's okay.
Sounds good to me.
I'll follow up with the town and just figure out what's going on with the monitors, so we don't do this again.
sounds good. I think that, unless anybody else has something? think
I have
that-
one more question about printing things. Do you have things printed here?
The only thing I've done
Copying.
is use a USB, plug it in.
Yep.
and then
Okay.
It's really
Print
easy.
off of that.
Okay,
But yes,
like just, I can just go to the machine?
Yeah.
Yep.
Okay, okay.
I don't want to see any Apple Annie stuff on there. In the garbage can or anything.
I anticipate the new board will be making committee assignments within the next week or two. And I don't know what those committee assignments will
I'd
be.
like to make a motion to the select board that we keep Paul.
I'll second that.
So in the event, I'm not the liaison. This has been, a great experience, so I just wanted to say that. Really enjoy, coming to these meetings. It's
Breath of fresh air.
yeah, it's a welcome diversion from Tuesday nights for me. So
Thank you.
Yeah.
Appreciated your
Yeah.
input.
I really don't know. I take nothing for granted these days. So you never know. You may see me, but I don't know.
Okay,
If there's nothing else, and I apologize for the late hour, but I do have a couple things for non-public session. So I'll make a motion to enter non-public session under RSA 91 A3 2D, consideration of the acquisition of sale or lease of real or personal property, which if discussed in public will likely benefit a party, parties whose interests are adverse to those of the general community. And then a roll call vote to
do I
enter.
have a second?
Oh, sorry.
I second.
Second. All those in
We're gonna go.
favor?
Aye.
Emma? Andy? Rob?
Aye.
All right.
Chris? Aye.
Aye.
Lisa? Aye.
But, I mean, Bruce, you're welcome to stay if you want, but. All right.
Are we
He said aye.
good?
Thank you.
So, and it's, the time, 7:00, oh, shoot, not 7. It's, 8:10.
10.
Yeah, we're back to daylight savings time.
Well, now the
Okay,
clock
so-
isn't moving